Sara McNealus is responsible for one of the most memorable days of my life. It was back in 1979, and a heated pool and a hot tub were involved. I promise there were skis too, though not in the hot tub. Our women's ski team had just won the 1979 AIAW NCAA championship in Marquette, Michigan. We'd been competing in sub-zero temperatures all weekend, and every team was just beginning to thaw out in the hotel pool when the Wyoming and Utah teams showed up with champagne and a couple beers. Pool party. Remember, that was the 70s, different time, much more fun. Every team was toasting our victory, but our team knew we were also celebrating the best female skier in the country, our champion, our leader, our friend, Sara. The majority of the team consisted of unseasoned freshmen, myself, Brooksy Neal, and Sue Long. Even the Nordic team was young. Jill Fursbrook, a sophomore, and Sara were the only upperclassmen on the Alpine team. So most of us had gone to Michigan that year hoping we could win. Sara knew we could. That's why she was our captain. But halfway through the day, Sara was sitting in 5th place after her first GS run, and our championship hopes were suddenly in jeopardy. Up until that point in the season, the only thing Sara hadn't done well was lose. She'd won every carnival race, but suddenly she was one run away from going home empty-handed after being All-American the previous 3 years. And she was not happy. Those cute little rosy cheeks turned flaming red. I think her nostrils were even flaring. Charlie Brush, our coach, was trying to focus her, imploring, "Just stay upright through the finish, Sara." But she was having nothing of it. Sara, the ferocious athlete that she was, had never settled for safe. A consummate competitor, the only option in her mind was to win that second run. So, in typical Sara fashion, she risked everything and tucked the entire course, top to bottom, like a bat out of hell, hurling herself through the finish line. And she won. But it wasn't over yet. Charlie made it emphatically clear that the rest of us better come through. Otherwise, Sara's heroic efforts would have been in vain. Seeing Sara rise up like that inspired the rest of our team. And not just that afternoon, for life. That's why she's here tonight. In a family like Sara's, it's not easy to stand out. The McNealus family are all top competitors. Her father was in the 10th Mountain Division. Her brothers, sisters, and their kids were all top ski racers. And her son, River, is a multiple gold medalist at the Youth Olympic Games. Her mother is a championship tennis player, nationally ranked in her age group. She's approaching 90. But Sara is a natural-born champion, as her trophies and awards prove, and she's an inspiration to everyone she meets, as the kids she has coached over the years will tell you. She was even a three-year captain of the Middlebury women's tennis team. Lobs were her lethal weapon. Believe me, I can attest to that. We would have fun battling on the Proctor courts in the spring after ski season. Sara would show up with Freihofer donuts and beer. Try running backwards with your neck craned after consuming 2 donuts and 3 beers. No wonder she beat me every time. The beautiful thing about Sara is that she symbolizes what's great about women's athletics at Middlebury. She's competitive, but she makes competition fun, and fun for everyone. Sara is a legend at Middlebury and an icon for current and future Middlebury women's ski team members. It is my privilege to introduce a woman who has always been and will forever be in my Hall of Fame, and now rightly in the Middlebury Hall of Fame. And to top it all off, she has the name fit for a Roman gladiator. Ladies and gentlemen, Sara McNealus Radamus.
Thank you, Danny. It's been a few decades since I've been up here on the podium. Feels pretty good. Feels especially great because of the other inductees. I feel like the esteemed company leaves me in the shadows. Tom, Christy, Michelle, phenomenal athletic careers. That's an honor. Gordy, Bobo, Don, these are legendary names in our household growing up. They were, my dad would talk about them, my brothers would talk about them with reverence, and it's truly an honor. And it leaves me almost speechless. Almost. And I think Erin just gave me like an hour to talk up here, so I better get to it. Three minutes, whatever, I can do that. I guess I'll do Sara's top 10 list of why I'm being inducted into Middlebury College Hall of Fame. Number 10, fortunate car accident. In the spring of my freshman year at Middlebury, I was in a serious car accident and was laid up in the hospital for several months. Walking again was questionable. Skiing again wasn't even whispered. I had a bit of time to think while I was in there, and I came to realize how fortunate I was to have been able to do the activities I had taken for granted for 17 years of my life. And so I came to the decision that if and when I did get a chance to get back to sports and training, I would not only work harder, but I would be happier about the opportunity to work harder. It was the best outcome ever. The fortunate car accident. Number 9, my teammates. A couple of them are here this evening. And Lori, Danny, without your support while I was in the starting gate or whenever, really made a big difference. And you've always given me confidence, but I think the thing you gave me the most was in ski racing, you have to have a pretty strong core. And I do remember having really sore abs from laughing constantly for 4 years while I was here at Middlebury. So thank you guys. Best teammates ever. My coaches are number 8. Charlie, Gordy, Karen, Terry, thank you for putting up with me. How you encouraged and guided a pretty much know-it-all teenager is beyond me, because I kind of knew everything. You helped me accomplish more than I could have ever dreamed. And I want to emphasize this, not just because I am one, but coaches influence lives. Thank you. Best coaches ever. Number 7, my 4 brothers, Neil, Jerry, Mike, Pete. Thank you for being my biggest competitors and showing me what was possible. I always figured if you guys could do it, why couldn't I? And thank you guys so much for making me a better athlete. Best brothers ever. Number 6, my 2 sisters, Judy and Ellen. They've always been my biggest supporters. No matter what I accomplished or didn't, you were my biggest fan club. Thank you for making me feel special always. Best sisters ever. Number 5, and this is probably and most likely the biggest reason I'm being inducted into the Middlebury College Hall of Fame. There was no internet, no Facebook, no Instagram. What happened in the 70s should stay in the 70s. That was my best luck ever. Number 4, just a quick shout out to our son, River, for taking precious time away from his own training to support me. It means a lot. Thank you, Riv. And for always just nodding and smiling whenever I start talking about how good I was back in the old days. Best son ever. Number 3, my husband of 32 years, Aldo, for believing me all those years ago when I said how great I was and all these great things I did at Middlebury College. You've always made me feel so confident in what I've done and what more I can do. Love you. Best husband I could have married. Number 2, my dad and mom, of course, for introducing me to a lifetime of sport. I know how fortunate I am. After those first 17 years, I came to realize that. And for all those years ago, when I would make that collect call home after a race from somewhere in the world, and you'd always ask just, how are you? Not how I'd done or anything about that, and only caring about me and never about the results. It's the best parents ever, so thanks, Mom. And the number 1, Middlebury College Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank you, the committee, for nominating me, voting me in, and finally making all those stories of all those years legit. Thanks. Best college ever.